Lord Yahweh, Bahasham, Mashiach, Yahweh, Shaddai, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God. In name is only begotten Son, who the word ignorant called Jesus Christ. It's Brother Rod Meyer, representing the school, ZOH, Zealous of Highest. Today, I want to start this short series about basically things that the Christian church will tell you are sins that are not, okay? It's a lot of things. One thing we can agree on across the table, whether Hebrew Israelite or Christian or just a common person walking down the street, sin is bad. You know what I'm saying? Objectively, sin is bad, but a lot of people don't even know what sin is. So I wanted to start this off with one of my examples of those things that Christians say are sins that actually are not sins. I thought about, well, dang, I might have some brothers and sisters who don't know what what sin is and what the law is, and then like sin pertains to the law, so they might not know what the law is. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the short list, and I'm gonna try to keep it short as possible because I know my brothers and sisters got short attention span. So if y'all could just follow me. Okay, this is the word for law in the Hebrew. It's Strong's H8451, and it's Torah. Torah meaning law. So a lot of you might be familiar with the word Torah. Man, I had looked something up. Oh well. Okay, come. So Torah is the Hebrew word for law. See, there you go. In the following manner. KJV Strong is translated in the following manner. See, law 219 times. So law, direction, instruction, direction, human or divine, body, prophetic teaching. Okay. So what we're gonna talk about is gonna be the law of God today. We're gonna talk about the law of the Most High. We're going to talk about sin here in a second as well. Let's see. A lot of people are going to try to make a separation, family, between the law of God and the law of Moses. So we're going to go ahead and knock that in the teeth right now. So we're going to start the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8. It says, and all the people gathered to themselves, selected. This is Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 1, Salaki. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man in the street that was before the water gates, and to speak unto Ezra and the scribe, Salaki. Y'all forgive me for that one. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man in the street that was before the water gate, and they spoke unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded Israel. So they're going to read the law of Moses. That's what they're talking about. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation of both men and women, that all could hear with understanding, upon the first day of the 7th month. It's going to call the law something else. It's the same, Salaki. It's the same law that it was just talking about. Okay. So they read the book of the law of God distinctly and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. So the law of Moses and the law of God is the same thing. They're going to try to make a difference. They're going to try to make a separation. It is the same thing. It's what the Most High told Moses, okay? That's the law. Now, the law is anything. Well, let's get this. The law is anything that the Most High said, thou shalt or thou shalt not do. That's the law. Usually it's coming through the mouth of Moses. You got some things coming through the mouth of Christ. It says, and I will, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 18. This is what will make room for Christ. And I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. This is a prophecy about Christ, okay? So now, the law is anything the Most High said thou shalt not, thou shalt or thou shalt not. Anytime Christ said thou shalt and thou shalt not, that's the law, okay? Usually in the Old Testament, it's going to be coming from Moses, all right? And we got that out the way, we understand what the law is. Salakia. We're going to get what sin is. If you don't want to start acting crazy, all praises back right, all right? So now we want to understand what sin is, all right? So they can't play a game with us. Shalom, King. I'm recording the class. I'm recording the class, King. You on class. Shalom to Akim, man. Shalom. Alright, I'm gonna call you back in like less than 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, no, my bad, King. I see you though. Salat.
Alright, you good. Alright, shalom.
Shalom, okay.
Alright, that was the governor right there, Azamakia. Alright, so what we got right here is what is actually sin. So sin is transgression of the law. We're gonna prove that. This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. So that's what sin is. Sin is, I mean, that's the definition. The transgression of the law. So sin is when you go against what the law say. The sin is when the Most High said don't, you did it. Sin is when the Most High said do and you didn't do it. The same go with Christ. Christ said do and you didn't do it. And Christ said don't do and you did it anyway. Those things are sin, all right? They're going to say sin is the missing of the mark. That's very vague, you know what I'm saying? This is exactly what sin is right here, all right? Salaki, next thing. Now, everything has a balance to it, man. But we're going to get there in a second. It says, because the law worketh wrath. What's that wrath? The punishment. What's the wages of sin? Death. You know what I'm saying? Death is wrath. For where there is no law, there is no transgression. If the law does not say don't do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? If the law don't say don't do it, you can do it. A lot of people try to make, and that's what this series is going into. I'm not going to go into it in this specific lesson, though I wanted to, but that's going to make too long of a lesson. But if the law don't say don't do it, for the most part, you can do it. Now, a lot of things have to be examined and studied to a micro level, to where you think it's not talking about that, and it is. A lot of things just you can't do it because, like for instance, there's a lot of says you don't do what the Egyptians do. So certain customs that were made by the Egyptians or by the nations that involve their deities, we can't do those things. All right. So, and it might not be on the list of the regular thou shalt not, but you'll come to find later that it was a practice of theirs that we can't take part of. So, like, all right. Next scripture. One chapter over. Romans chapter 5 and verse 13. For until the law, there is no work, Salakia. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed where there is no law. Same thing, man. If it wasn't no law, the Lord didn't say you can't do 6 backflips on a Saturday morning. It ain't a sin. Nobody can come tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell you that. I don't know, man, that you can't watch Marvel movies. Marvel movies are sin. There's nowhere in the Bible say thou shalt not watch a Marvel movie. Whatever you want to watch, whatever you want to do. If it ain't in the scriptures, it's not a sin to do it. You know, if the scriptures don't specifically say thou shalt not, or you can't trace that action back to an ancient deity outside of the Most High himself, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. But everything does have a balance. Okay? It says, all things are lawful for me. Salaki, this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 32. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Just because some things are not in the scripture to do, don't mean that it's smart. I can't say you sinning if you do these certain things, but it don't mean that it's a smart thing to do. It's a wise thing to do. It don't necessarily benefit you or your family. Though the Most High might not have a specific punishment set out for you, this world might have one. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with it. You might discover that something isn't a sin, and you might overindulge in that thing, and now now you put yourself in a bad situation, you know, or something might be a sin, uh, might not be a sin in the Bible, that's a sin in this world. Again, I guess one day I'm gonna have to go into the law of the land because I know a lot that just popped up in a lot of people's head, but that's not what that means. That's not what that scripture. If you read it by yourself without me breaking it down, read that whole chapter, and I promise you, you'll come to understand that's not what it means. You might not understand what it does mean, but you'll be for sure it don't got nothing to do with these laws, you know. But anyway, so like I digress. The point is, just because something is lawful in the Bible doesn't mean that it's always good for you. Okay, so you have to have a balance. You know what I'm saying? Uh, for instance, you know Hebrew Israelites believe in multiple wives. Well, that ain't necessarily wise for everybody. Me, I'm kind of selfish. Probably only need one wife. If I have a wife, I kind of only need one wife because I'm selfish with my time, and half the time I don't want to talk to my wife. You know what I'm saying? It's just wrong, but it's a lucky. Uh, that being said, we're gonna wrap this thing up, family. So that is the so sin. So excuse me. So the law is anything that the Most High and Christ told you to do, or not to do. And sin is when you go against it. That's all it is. I hope the lesson was edifying. I hope it was good for you. And I hope it encouraged you and benefited you in your understanding, family. That Shalom Yahweh Bahasham Masiaki Hawashah. Kwame